Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the virtual breakfast sessions. I'm Larry Sashin, and today we're going to be talking about something near and dear to all of us, lunch in 2025. But before we go into the story, let's thank the people who are paying the bills today. Era Group and Ed Flanagan. Listen, you work very, very hard for your money. And a wise man once told me that it's not the money you make, it's the money you keep. If you think your invoices aren't right, or maybe those contracts you signed a couple years ago are not right anymore, call Ed Flanagan and the Era Group. They will sift through your invoices to make sure you're getting exactly what you paid for, exactly the price you agreed to. And on top of that, they will take a look at your contract to see if there's a way they could be renegotiated or find you a different supplier. Ed Flanagan, the Era Group. Thank you, Ed. Back to our story today. Lunch in 2025. We know if you're in a mall or you're in downtown, foot traffic is down because everybody's buying online. Also, nobody goes to work anymore. They work out of their offices. So foot traffic once again is down. And that lunch business that used to be booming, you have to work for. Let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. Juan, why don't you start?
My name is Juan Calle. I operate a restaurant group, TQM Hospitality Group, out of Atlanta. We operate Chicheria Mexican Kitchen, a Baja California-inspired Mexican restaurant. Buena Vida Tapas, a Spanish tapas restaurant.
Okay, thank you. Michael and Johnny, say hello.
How are you?
My name is Michael Lubick. We own Trio Pizza. It's in the northern part of Westchester County, Baldwin Place, which is part of Somers. I also have a more high-end version of what we do here, sit-down fine dining called Traditions 118. We've been there 21 years.
Okay, thank you. And Andrea.
My name is Andre Ingenito. I'm the chef and owner of Osteria Padre Pio. My restaurant is located at 97 Lake Street, West Harrison. It's a little bit outside of White Plains, right about a mile away from the Westchester Airport.
Okay, thank you. And say hi, Fred.
Good morning. I'm Fred Clashman, editor and publisher at Total Food Service. Looking forward to a great session.
Once again, I'm Larry Sashin. Our topic is a ticklish subject because you go to restaurants now, they're not quite as packed as they used to be on lunchtime. Juan, why don't you start? What are you doing to bring the people in?
Yeah, so for us, something that's really important is to work with the third-party delivery apps. We make sure that all of our menus, we have pictures for everything that we're offering through DoorDash and Uber Eats. And then also we leverage a lot of catering. So we've seen that even though people aren't going into the office as much, a lot of the large corporations are buying food from restaurants for lunch to incentivize the workers to come into the office. We do catering through our website, and we also do catering through Easy Catering. That basically sets a really nice foundation of revenue so that the guests that are coming in to dine during lunch is basically, cherries on top. But for us, it's about utilizing the labor wisely and then also just giving additional hours to the front of the house. But it has to be a multi-pronged approach where we're getting revenue from a number of different avenues rather than just people that are coming in for, your 2 tops or 4 tops.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you mentioned that you're reaching out to corporations. How are you reaching out to them to let them know that you exist?
Well, a big part of it is Easy Catering specifically. They do a lot of that. So they're a platform kind of like Uber Eats, but they're specifically for catering. That's probably 60 to 65% of our catering revenue. And then the additional 35 to 40%, we do it through our database of a number of different corporations that have booked our private dining room. Just, we do email marketing, we use Google Ads, and all of this just brings in 30, 40, 50, 60 leads every month. And then we have somebody in the house that converts all of those.
Michael, when I looked at your website, I saw this really cool short video about, talking about the crowds in your restaurant on the weekend and when's the best time to come in. Obviously, you're doing social media. How does that work for you?
Social media changed our entire business, our trajectory. Like I said, we have the high-end restaurant, social media work, but there's something about pizza and fast and quick. The visualization of pizza, it just goes viral. We hit almost 7,000 followers in a little over a year. Social media has changed our lives, and I know that seems a bit extreme. We can post a video and the next day we see see a 20% increase in business. As far as, it's incredible. We've mastered, not only say mastered it, we've gotten really good at it. Definitely, you need all the help you can get when it comes to lunch. And I think that's what this all goes back to. Our high-end restaurant, we're not open for lunch. We don't have the businesses. We don't fine dining, sit down atmosphere. People want quick. They want out. They don't want to wait. Everyone's in a rush. If they get an hour lunch break, they got to come in and out.
Yeah, so that's we don't get affected by the foot traffic. There's not much foot traffic around here, like as in the city. So a lot of the schools, we focus on a lot of schools, camps, a lot of the day workers that come in. That's one of the main things that we try and focus on, besides having, like what Juan said, having all the online ordering. It's very quick, get in, get out, but still offering that same type of quality as the high-end restaurant.
Andrea, when you and I spoke about this, you had mentioned how you've tailored your lunch menu to meet the needs that Michael just mentioned about getting people in and out. Why don't you talk about that a bit?
Yes, like I said, since I moved here about 8 months ago, I see a lot of changing, about 25 years ago. Yes, they did change a lot. Westchester Avenue, there is still a lot of buildings that I still see a lot of people do go out. They do have a cafeteria, yes, no doubt about it. But there is a few little things that I discovered myself here in Westchester. A lot of people, they go out, a lot of restaurants, they have one menu. There's this, you cannot change this, you cannot change that. A lot of people get discussed at it, So my goal is giving people what they wanted, let them make them happy. There's a lot of restaurants that I go to, they throw me off when they said, no, you cannot change this, you cannot change that. Yes, the food cost is going up, no doubt about it. So what I did is also, that I didn't forget to mention to you when I saw here, I've been going on the market myself at least 3-4 times a week, the way I used to do years ago, just to save some money to the rights to people who bring the stuff here, to save a few dollars in here and there, and to give it to the customer. And I changed the menu for lunch menu, of course, a little small portion, better prices, and it's been working. Really, it's been working a lot. There's a few little things I'm going to have to work on it. I'm going to shoot a new video for the restaurants in a month about this, where I'm going to do it. So far, it's going to come along very, very good. Like I repeat again, I say again, yes, everything's expensive. Everything's gone up to the roof. But I did discover a few little things, giving people what they wanted, make them happy. A lot of restaurants, what they do is they hide the menu the way they want to give to the customer. Give them what they wanted. Not substitute for this, not substitute for that. There is a way how to work things out. People want to be happy. They want to feel home. And that's my goal. Is when people come here, they can feel home. Not a restaurant. They got to feel comfortable. And believe me, it works a lot. A lot of people, they get turned off on that when they hear a lot of different things. Like I say, I've been going to market myself since I moved here 7 months ago, and I want to see the way it's going to work. And so far, it's been working pretty good.
Thank you.
I am saving a few dollars here and there, but put it towards the new menu that I just did. The portion is a little smaller because the lunch is in and out 1 hour. It's been working really well. And I'm keeping doing what I'm doing.
Thank you, Andrea. Fred.
So I want to go back and I want to start with Juan. I want to ask a question. In a world of hybrid workers, which I'm assuming you have in Atlanta as well, is it possible that the entire model has been stood on its head and that you really need to look at yourself as a food production center, kind of what ghost kitchens were at one point coming out of COVID, et cetera, and look at a different way of staffing and a different way of selling what you're doing, et cetera? The end of the customer experience as we know it. In fact, have we blown up lunch?
So I would say that it's different. I have two concepts. One concept, the Spanish tapas restaurant is more high end and the Mexican restaurant is a little more approachable. And I would say in the more approachable concept, what you said is accurate. The way in which we manage our labor is completely different. We actually have a lot of the cooks coming in a lot earlier to prep for all of the caterings. We're doing anywhere between 40 to 60 caterings a month, and sometimes it's 3 or 4. So we may have 500, be feeding 500 people, but all of it is production, and it's all happening between 9 to 10:45, and then the driver comes in at 10:50 and then takes it to the offices. So it's completely different. You could still have pretty decent sales on those days, but you're only having 30 people in the dining room. The server becomes different, kind of a hybrid role as well. The manager becomes a hybrid role as well, because rather than interacting with the guests, they're just making sure that everything is packed properly, labeled properly, so on and so forth. And now in the more upscale restaurant, in the tapas restaurant, we're still trying to get a lot of those business lunches to come in. We have less volume of catering orders, but those catering orders, we call it the sand, rocks, and boulders. Those catering orders are maybe the boulders. They're really big orders, even though they're just one order. And then those people come around and they become the sand. They're the two tops that come back in the restaurant restaurant because they tried our food. So we see it as revenue, and then we also see it as marketing. So that's another aspect of it. It's more, it does turn into production, but you have to make sure that you put your marketing materials in there. If you're having events on the weekends or if you have a lunch special, a lot of the times the people that are catering, their offices are near there, so they may also take a client next week to your restaurant. And it's trying to maximize that touch point with the guest every single time, because it is hard to get people in the restaurant during lunch, and happy hour as well. Happy hour changed completely since COVID, since, the work from home thing.
Hey, Michael, I have a question for you. You live in a world in which, with pizza that is going viral on social, you are also in a price competition to some extent. How much price conscious is there purchasing at lunch versus, hey, I want that pie? How do people shop for lunch given the amount of national chain competition and local competition, et cetera?
We're firm believers about quality. It's really about quality, and not quantity. We suck up some of the margin. We probably should be charging a touch more. We only use Italian flour, Italian tomatoes. We use all the best stuff, and we're only 5 to 10% more than maybe some of our competition. That's just the way we are. Yeah, if that. It's just the way we are, and the money's going to come. Sometimes you can't look at those every little number. You just got to get people in the door and make them happy.
And is there a lunch check number in your market? Is it $15? Is it $20? What does that look like?
There's almost no way to quantify it.
Okay.
Because, like we're doing the small caterings, we're doing the big caterings, you have coming and buying a slice and a soda. There's really no way to put a number on it.
It's cool listening to what Juan is saying, because everything that Juan is saying
is the same.
It's like lined up with what we're doing, and to hear that he's ahead of a conglomerate almost essentially, and we're doing what he's doing.
We have the bigger place and then the little place. The little place does the little catering, the big place.
It just lines up.
The more high-end creating. And just sorry to go back to what Andrea said, kind of off topic, but not. The most important thing that he said that I don't hear enough restaurant people say is it's what the customers want. So many restaurateurs are fixated on what they want, the food they want, the menu they want. It's not about that. And I preach to people all the time, like, it's what the customer, not what you want.
We have it, you say yes.
Yeah.
We don't have it.
It's always what the customer wants. And that's the biggest mistake that restaurateurs make, is not listening to the customer because they think they know best. That drives me.
Andrea, how do you listen to your customer, have the sales rep from Cisco or US Foods or Baldo or whatever come in, and then how do you align, how do I buy, how do I purchase, how do I make this work, and create a menu that's profitable for you as well, and give the customer what they want?
Well, the first thing I do is when I come in the morning, I sit in my office downstairs, I do make a lot of phone calls. So I'm always snoop around to see what everybody has to price. I give an example. Yesterday I made a couple phone calls, Cisco, Acentico, and some other company. I was asked a simple olive oil because I do have a lot of olive oil. I went to Puya to pick it up myself, and I have an import and export to bring it here. I just brought them in 1,500 case tomato from Campania because I have people that I know down there, and I brought them over here, and I save a lot of money. But anyway, when I make the prices, when I see the prices of people they give me, everybody's $10, $12 different. I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. See, you have to shop around. You have to see what people give you. And it's always to try, and everybody has different prices, So my goal is when I get up in the morning, I come here, that's the first thing I do is I shop everybody to see what I'm doing, what I have to do it. And I repeat again, a lot of times, about 4 times a week, I go down myself in a market, especially to buy fish. Fish is very expensive right now. I have no freezer over here. I believe to give people the quality that they wanted, and still give it the best of the best on the table, farm to the tables. That's what I believe, that people give a fresh stuff. I have seen people that buy a lot of first stuff. They don't realize that case of first stuff, it costs 3 times more. It takes 2 minutes to go in the kitchen, shop the stuff and fresh it. I used to save a lot of money out of it. I see people with the freezer full of junk inside. It takes a few minutes to go to the market, get the stuff for fresh, to bring it in. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I go to the fish market, that's what I have to do it. Same thing with the vegetable, I have local people. You save money that way. A lot of people make a mistake there to doing that, to buy a lot of first stuff.
Let me break in here. Andrea has an interesting method of finding out what the people want, something that is missing in many, many, many restaurants. I have yet to be in one of his restaurants where he didn't visit our table and ask us questions. I mean, low tech, but incredibly effective. He stops by every table in the restaurant. How's it going? What did you like? You know, what can I do for you? It works. Now I realize if you're pushing pizzas out like in a breakneck speed, you can't stop by everybody's house and ask them. Are you guys using gimmicks, any incentive for people to come in and give you their contact information? Because I think in restaurant business now, we used to push people to get their email address. Now you need their cell phone number also, otherwise it doesn't work. Give me an idea of what you guys are doing to get that list so that you can reach out to people and bring them in. Whoever.
Okay, really quickly, obviously, the POS systems capture a lot of that information. That's the easiest way, of course. All the online apps, you capture everyone's information. You can send out, like we use Toast. You know, Toast has a lot of great features where you can access people. Like Andrea, like we're here. You know, we don't just do restaurants. We actually do a lot of stuff here, properties, construction. You know, so we go 24/7, 7 days a week. We're running 2 places, still there. We're talking to our customers just the way Andrea is. There's no better than that. You know, as far as technology goes, our restaurant traditions, 21 years, no POS system, everything's still handwritten. People think we're nuts, but it worked, you know, and we're there and we're talking to customers. It's a blessing and a curse. We just did an article about it. Someone did an article on us, and yeah, it's great to be there and to talk to customers and have people. Oh, hey, here's John. I mean, John's at the pizza place from morning till night. The problem is when you're not there,
Everything slipped.
customers in their mind think the food's not the same. If they don't see Andrea that night, in their mind, they're going to say, oh, no, the rigatoni vodka was a little, you know, was a little different tonight because Andrea wasn't here. It comes with the territory. So you have to tread that line of being hands-on, but then there's the other side. You have no personal.
You actually, it gives you the what we do, we overstaff almost. And I know it sounds crazy, like we overstaff, so it kind of does free us up when we have the eyes on everything that needs to be getting watched, and gives us the freedom to actually walk out, to actually call back catering orders the following day or 2 days later to see how everything went the night before. Those little different things that even if something was off just a little bit, you have the opportunity to talk about it. And the fact that you reach back out gives them a comfortability of that owner cares. And it's a genuine thing. We want to make sure that everything goes right. And you see the residual and you see the kickback.
What about you, Juan?
We roll out menus. We roll out a spring and summer menu and a fall and winter menu. In the months leading up to it, we run different specials. I always tell my team that the P-mix, the product mix doesn't lie. It tells us exactly what the guests want, what the guests are enjoying, what the guests aren't enjoying. And yeah, it's all about table touching. You know, we have a 100% table touch requirement. So every chef, every single one of the tables, you know, a manager needs to be approaching the table, talking to them about it. And then something that gives us actually a lot of feedback, we do culinary events at each location every 5 weeks. It may be a 5-course meal, like a 5-course wine dinner. It may be a large format paella. It may be a spirit class. And then you have really intimate touch points with the guests where you're actually sitting down, you're really talking to them. And the guests that are coming to those events are the guests that are really bought into your brand, because, you know, these tend to be in between $80 to $130 a person event. And you really get honest feedback. You know, I really love this dish. I really don't love this dish. You know, these are some really cool things that I'm seeing happening, whatever, you know, in the neighborhood or in other cities or whatever. But I agree with something that Andrea was saying about changing the menu, you know, making sure that you're offering the right menu at the right time. So for example, at our Spanish tapas restaurant, we have 3 different menus. We have the brunch menu, we have our dinner menu, and then we have our lunch menu. And those are all very different. So at night, the guest wants a completely different experience. It's a different guest. It's a guest that's going to be sitting for a lot longer. They're enjoying more cocktails. And so they're more looking for the traditional tapas and larger entrees. And then during lunch, we have a more Americanized deli with Spanish influence menu. So we have salads and we have sandwiches and we have things where if you need to get out in 45 minutes, you get out in 45 minutes. And even the way that we bring the check to the guests is different. We use a QR code for people to check out. So if you get your meal, you can literally order it and you can scan the QR code, you can pay for it, and you can leave whenever you want. And then at dinner, it's completely different. At dinner, we don't allow the guests to drop off the check until they've made sure that everything's okay. It's, you know, part of making sure that the guest is still taken care of. It's viewing the guest, what the guest needs and what the guest wants in different services, you know, and running that service to, again, what Andrea was saying, serve the guests, because that's what we're here for, you know. We were in the service industry to serve the needs of the guests. So
Okay. All right. Guys, it's that time again when time is our enemies. And before we go around the room when you guys give that last tidbit of information you want people to remember, we have to thank Ed Flanagan and the Era Group one more time. We just talked about it here. Andrea touched on it. He prices everything on a daily basis. If you don't have the time to do that, if you don't have the time or the wherewithal to do that, call Era Group and Ed Flanagan. Their people will sift through your invoices and your contract to make sure you're getting exactly what you need, exactly at the right price, and it's all done on a contingency basis. So that Ed Flanagan and the Era Group. Back to our panel. Listen, Juan, I'd like you to start. Give that last bit of information that people need to know when it comes time to planning their lunch.
I would say the number one thing is visibility. You want to make sure that you're visible on everything, every ordering app, every catering software, every catering server, and that you're putting it in front of your guests on your website, social media, everywhere that you do serve lunch, because the guests want something that's accessible, something that's quick, something that's certain, so they can get in and out.
Okay, thank you. Johnny and Michael.
It mimics basically everything that we've been saying. It's about speed, visibility, and I always say for us, quality, not quantity. Not to say, listen, we're doing between 400 and 500 pizzas on a Friday, so the quantity is there, but we still have the control. Good product, done right. It's not right, throw it out.
It's
Okay.
also like a reliability thing, knowing that we're always going to be open
Yeah.
7 days a week. The fact that we're open 7 days a week, people know that if something is closed, that they can always come here. So just having that fact of no matter what, we're going to be open unless there's a snowstorm, a power outage, or Christmas Day.
That's about it.
All right, got it.
You mean you take a day off?
When?
Christmas Day?
No,
Oh, okay. All right.
everybody else does.
Okay. Andrea.
Yes, like I said before, it's very important, people. Let them feel home when they come to the restaurant. Give them what they wanted. A lot of people want to see that. And also, I gave them recent prices on a menu, different menu for lunch. To give 90 grams of pasta, give them 60, The pasta cheap. It's what you put on top. Yeah, I agree with the 100%. Tomatoes, same thing. Tomatoes, the price is still there. Like I say, at nighttime, it's a different approach. But at daytime, people is in and out. I have a recent prices, the menu, and making people comfortable. Make them when they come, they come to a restaurant, give them a welcome. They're going to spray other people, and word of mouth is the best way to do it. When I started here 37 years ago, that's how I built my reputation. Everybody knows me in Westchester County. Chef Andrea, when I opened up Osteria Padre Pio, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and I had a beautiful following. I had a lot of support, a lot of people. I came here, I still have the same people that come here from all over Westchester. And to me, it's brilliant. And it's been working, and God bless America.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Fred, anything to say?
Yeah, it sounds like lunch is alive and well. Sounds like operators have to make a decision between, do I want to be an in-restaurant experience, or do I want to be in the food production business, et cetera, or can I do both? And then the other piece is, how do I use, what I learned from Michael is, how do I use social media to reach this changing audience, which in many cases is now a hybrid worker who's going into whatever city a couple days a week and working at home 3 days a week. So I think there's a real opportunity to sort of redefine what's going on.
Summarize what I think I've heard here. Number one, give them what they want. Get it to them in a expeditious method. Make the price what they're willing to pay. People still eat 3 meals a day. They might as well eat at your place, and they just have to know that you're there for them.
Or eat from your place, if not
Right.
at your place.
Right. So once again, thank you guys for coming here. It's been a pleasure. It's been an educational experience, and we'll be back next week. And until then, I only have 2 things to say. Everyone, stay positive, test negative, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.